Story 1. 386. Malicious Compliance. Posted by You, Devil S. Advocate. 3 days ago. 3-year-old me pulls my first fast one. MOC. When I was 3. My family and 6-year-old sister lived right next door to a very small corner store in a very small little town. From the grass of our front yard, the front store entrance was maybe 10 feet away. You could also get into the fenced storage area outside and behind the store from the side of our yard, which the public could not see and didn't know about. This will be relevant later. One day my mother, observing us from the front porch, let my sister and I return a 6-pack of soda bottles at said store, and use the money to buy candy. I didn't understand the exact process, as my sister handled the deal, but the store owner was very nice, and I thought I was somehow getting free candy, and that this arrangement was now permanent. The next day, I had run out of candy from my stash, and without waiting for my sister, since I was a big boy now, I went from playing in the front yard back into the store to get another free supply of candy. So I smiled and said hi to the owner, grabbed my free candy and headed out the door. The owner thought otherwise. He made what seemed like a big fuss, gratuitously gesticulating, and loudly scolded me on how candy isn't free, and I only get some candy if I trade him some empty bottles. He then pointed to an open door that lead outside to the storage area in back of the store, to where there was a stack of maybe 20 empty soda bottles, 6 packs. To make sure I understood. You may know where this is going. So the next day, from my secret side yard entrance, I went and grabbed a 6-pack of empty bottles from his stack. Then returned back to my yard and then into the front of the store, where I returned the bottles for candy, just as the owner had instructed. I did this again and again. I pulled this magical candy trick off maybe 3 times that day, and maybe 3 times the next, and was growing an epic stash of candy back home. I was very pleased with myself and thought life was good. All before the owner finally realized his stack of soda bottles was not growing and waited in the back and caught me. I wasn't sure what happened wrong, or why I was suddenly in trouble, as I was only following the owner's instructions. Bottles for candy. That was our deal. When confronted, my mother of course apologized and paid back the missing money. But it was highly amusing to everyone after, all but the store owner. Thus this story became often repeated family lore, of how the baby easily and repeatedly managed to steal candy from the adult. 16 comments. Award. Share. Save. 5 people here. If you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Story 2. $212. Malicious Compliance. Posted by You, S.G. Tragiqui. 3 days ago. Malice Fool Dead. Sock. Not sure if this fits, but well, see. So when I was young, between the ages of 2 to 6, this specific story happening closer to 6 years old, my sibling and I shared a room. We had this big signed picture of Jerry Garcia in a nice glass frame in our room. My parents were huge hippies. My sibling and I also had bunk beds, with me on top. I was up on the top bunk and my sibling was down on the floor, and we were tossing this little beanie baby back and forth. Well, I decided the next time I got it to just huck that thing across the room as hard as I could. The beanie baby slams into Big Jerry and catapults the poor man straight to the floor, shattering the frame. Obviously my dad hears the crash and sprints downstairs and sees the murder scene for himself. You'd think I just killed his mom by the look on his face. He looks at my sibling, who points at me. QMC. My dad staring daggers at me and screams, "Go to your room." And I just sit there. which makes him even more pissed. He says, still yelling, "What part of go to your room do you not understand?" I look at him and say through sobbing that I'm already in my room. So how could I go to it? He stops, stumbles over his words a bit, and says, "Fine, I guess go upstairs." In this almost question yell tone. Ever since, my malicious compliance has increased exponentially and my dad still hates it. 23 comments. Award. Share. Save. If you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Story 3. $1. 0K. R. Malicious Compliance. Posted by significant_angle_29. 3 days ago. Bad bosses. Sock. I worked for a home builder as the IT tech. I got a new boss that was a micromanager to the extreme. I once was working on a server that was down and had shut down the whole office. But the boss had a meeting. I was the only IT person on site. She insisted the server would wait so I could come to her meeting. About an hour long that we never discussed anything to do with me. Another time I was in her meeting and had all of the signs of a heart attack. Went to the they said the test was inconclusive. The next day I was in a cardiologist's office. When I called off, I told her that I was headed to the cardiologist, because the thought my symptoms were with my heart. The very next day I was in my boss's office being told that I was not working enough hours. Another time I had an appointment after work and needed to go. But they wanted me there. I told them no. And that caused them to ask if I wanted to be put on hourly. I jumped at that since I was putting in easily 60 to 70 hours a week. Here is the malicious compliance part. I was authorized to sign for $30,000 for equipment. And when I made an order, it was my practice to have the manager over the department to co-sign any request. They had more signing authority than I did. My manager decided that she needed final approval for anything that was ordered. Petty revenge at its best. When the president of the development asked me to order him a Palm Pilot. With a straight face, I told him that he would need to get approval from his employee. My boss. The next day, things went back to the ordering manager co-signing all POs. 35 comments. Award. Share. Save. If you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Story 4. $1. 6K. R. Malicious Compliance. Posted by Fictional. 3 days ago. How the Castle Wavertrue got its name. MOC. Yesterday I read here about a historical MC. And then realized, hey, I also know a historical one. So today I am gonna tell you the historical account OIF, how that castle got its name. It roughly translates to women's loyalty or loyal women. So in 1140, the castle was sieged and they were running out of food and had no hope anymore that another army would come to their rescue. One army had tried already and lost the battle. So they sent one of their men outside to parley and come up with the terms for their surrender. But the army did not really want to give them anything. 'Cause they knew the castle would fall soon either way. Also, the castle currently belonged to the Welfen, one of Germany's oldest high aristocracy families. They were even powerful enough to put one of their own on the emperor's throne. You see, in the Holy Roman Empire of German nations, the emperor got elected by the high aristocracy and powerful members of the church, while the Hohenstaufen was the one besieging it, also a very powerful family that managed to get on the throne on several occasions. Those two houses had beef going back centuries. So the people in the castle knew when they give up without an agreement, this is either getting ugly or even uglier. The high-ranking people inside would be taken hostage and only get free if they agree to a ludicrously high ransom. And the rest would most likely be executed. If they're lucky, some would only have their sword hand hacked off and one or both eyes be burned out with glowing iron. Yea, that was long before the Geneva Convention came up with rules for POWs. After some back and forth negotiations, they finally agreed on the following conditions. That women and children would be allowed to leave unmolested and unharmed. And as soon as the people inside would see they are safely off the huge hill the castle is on, they would open the gates and face whatever comes then. Also, since it was winter, December 21st, 1140, they were allowed to take as much as they can carry with them. So what did the women do? They carried their men to safety, and left all the goods behind. The Storfern were so perplexed by the trick they just let it happen. After all, they gave their word that the women could leave unharmed and unmolested, and could take as much as they could carry. Back then, giving your word truly meant something. It was a binding contract. There went all the ransom money. From then on, the castle got the nickname Wavertrue. Women's loyalty. 73 comments. Award. Share. Sava, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on.